Welcome into LAFC Weekly presented by Carmax. I am Max Bretos, and this is the show that gets you up close and personal to all things black and gold. Spanish fullback Sergi Palencia arrived at the club in 2023 with good credentials, but minimal fanfare. Was going to be a complimentary piece. Remember back then, you had two starting fullbacks in Sergi Palacios and Ryan Hollingshead. And you never know with the European players and their adaptation to MLS. Some do it quickly, some takes a little bit longer, and some don't adapt at all. Sergi did it just right, so much so in 2024 he is a featured player and one of the best at his position. We go off the pitch with Sergi Palencia. Sergi Palencia, tell me about where you're from, the town that you call home.
I call home Badalona. It's a small city next to Barcelona, and I grew up there. But since I was 15 years old, I almost lived in Barcelona, playing at Barça. So I was in Badalona during my high school, but all the other stuff, I lived almost in Barcelona.
So being in Catalonia, being a footballer, what is that environment like to play in that city in Barcelona as well?
No, that's crazy. You can live the culture that soccer have there, and living all my life as a footballer in the Barca environment was really cool, and I get used to a lot of pressure since I was very young, and I enjoyed a lot the soccer life, and I learned a lot there. And I'm very happy to say that I was raised in Barca Academy.
You said you got used to the pressure, but being there, take me through the first time you walked through those doors and you're with Barcelona. I am here at the beginning with La Masia.
Yeah, I was playing at Badalona with my friends. We were kids having fun and enjoying playing football, but with no pressure, no responsibility, only playing for fun. And then I remember we were doing a very remarkable season, and I received the call from Barcelona that they want me to go there and have some tests. I went there, and I was ready to do the same thing, having fun, smile, laugh with the other teammates, and everybody with 12 years old was very serious, professional. Everybody super focused on the training, listening to the coaches, and I was, that's not what I'm used to, but luckily for me, my personality is a little bit like this, that I want to be very professional and serious and be focused on my job, and I adapt very quickly to that style. But yeah, it was shocking at first, like 13 years old kids doing serious exercise and very, very focused on the game and the way that they do all the things.
Your family, did you come from a family that loved the sport?
Yeah, my father loved the sport. He always went with me to the trainings, and also my grandfather. I used to play with him a lot, and also with my grandmother. I used to play with her. I remember she went to the goal, and I was shooting at my grandmother. You know, is the image now is very strange, but I really enjoy that, and yes, of course that helps me. And they were Barca fans, so was very happy to be there in Barcelona.
Your favorite players or ones at Barcelona, an idol that you had?
I can tell the obvious, Ronaldinho, Messi, but I loved, always I love to watch football and to watch all the leagues, and my favorite player was Thierry Henry. That's why I like the 14, the number. And then it was like a big coincidence that another player that I loved was Mascherano, and he wore also the 14.
Someone else wore that jersey last year.
Yes,
Giorgio.
of course. Yes, yes.
How did you get it?
Our father.
So you wore number 30, but you were waiting. So how did that come about?
I always want, if it's available, I always want to wear the 14 because of that, because it's special for me. But I ask here, who wears the 14 last year? I ask when I arrived. They say me, Giorgio Chiellini. I say, okay, I don't like this number. I don't like, don't worry. I didn't say nothing. But now the number is free. And for me, it's also a responsibility that I want to have to represent this number with his attitude and his model. And yeah, I didn't choose that.
Thanks, Sergi. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Coming up on LAFC Weekly, presented by Carmax, we go inside Ryan Hollingshead's journey to the black and gold. LAFC Weekly is presented by Carmax, official used car retailer of LAFC, by BMO, official bank of LAFC, and by Pacific Office Automation. We have your office game plan. Welcome back to LAFC Weekly, presented by Carmax. We continue our look at the fullbacks on the club, and we've got some great ones here, including our coach, Steve Cherundolo, arguably the greatest right back ever to come out of the United States. In the modern game, coaches want to use their fullbacks to influence the attack. You got to be very good defensively and get the job done back there, but going forward and helping produce goals is very valuable. Not many defenders have that entire set list, quite like Ryan Hollingshead. To me, all-timer in MLS, wildly underrated, except here at LAFC, and he is this week's player profile, presented by Rockstar Energy Drink.
Hello, my name is Ryan Hollingshead, and I am an outside back for LAFC from Sacramento, California. So growing up my whole life, I was an attacker. I loved to score goals. I loved to get into the attack. I drafted to play professionally in Dallas, and in my first year there, got converted to outside back. I really found a great position as outside back. Love being an outside back, and I love the fact that I'm able to join in on the attack, even from that defensive position.
Ryan Hollingshead! How many times does he deliver a big moment for LAFC?
I still kept scoring a lot of goals, and I think I broke Zuzi's record now. I think I have the most goals, which is just so exciting and so much fun.
The top scoring defender in Major League Soccer adds to his tally.
My professional career began after 4 years of college at UCLA. I got drafted by FC Dallas.
FC Dallas selects Ryan Hollingshead.
I actually took a year off. I didn't go play for Dallas the first year. I went and helped my brother start a church, and then after a year went and joined Dallas and started my career then. So I think I was 22 when I started. Leading up to the draft, actually, I started telling teams not to draft me because I was gonna go help my brother start this church. So the draft was a really interesting time for me. It wasn't this moment of a ton of expectation or excitement. So I was kind of pursuing something that God put in front of me. And what happened that was crazy and outside of my control was after telling teams not to draft me, I was not at the draft. FC Dallas took a chance on me and drafted me anyway, hoping that I would come back and play at some point. I didn't think in the moment it was going to work out. I thought I was gonna be at this church for a long time, but the way that things played out, I was able to go back and play in Dallas and start my career there. And then from there, I had a really good career in Dallas and then got traded out here to LA. When you reflect back on where you've been, 2 years here at LAFC, it's been just some of the best time of my life. Being able to have these chances to fight for trophies and fight for championships. Part of the reason that I wanted to come here was exactly for that reason. Let's go win some more trophies. Some of my favorite goals of all time, I think, were the first brace I got, the first 2 goals in a single game I got. It was against Vancouver at home in LA, just after being traded from Dallas here to LAFC. Scored my first brace. That'll be a moment I just always remember because I came into this club with so much excitement, and that was my first year, and that was the beginning of what became our championship season, and something that I'll just remember forever. Outside of soccer, I have a ton of hobbies. First, I love to invest in real estate. I run a couple real estate companies just down the side. The competition that comes with that. I love the idea of kind of making my money work for me. I also love being a dad. I love doing house projects. I redid an ADU. I love just working with my hands, being handy. And then obviously love playing with my kids. So taking them fishing, going to the beach, going and building sandcastles, those sorts of things. So lots of little hobbies. Obviously, while I'm playing, there's not as much time for those things, but when I retire at some point, I'll get more time to explore those hobbies. In terms of a player that I look up to in the football world was Kaká. I loved watching Kaká play. Loved his style of play, how linear, how fast he was. I also love that his faith was a big part of his playing to him, and he was vocal about that and clear about that. That was always super encouraging to me. Another guy is like a LeBron James. I love the way that he just carries himself. A guy that I look up to that I do know is a guy like Ilie Sanchez, who just in every aspect of the game is entirely professional. All those things that you would look for in a captain and a player and a professional. And so really look up to that sort of just dedication and commitment to the game. Personally, I have goals as well. Some of the goals for me is like my faith, my spirituality is super important to me. My relationship with my wife is super important to me. My relationship to my kids is really important. So there's some goals around that, like dedicating time to be in prayer, to read my Bible, dedicating time to take my wife on dates, dedicating time to play with my kids, be intentional with my kids. If you don't do it, then all those things can kind of get washed away or become less important. And so you have to really fight to keep those a priority.
Coming up on LAFC Weekly presented by Carmax, we take a look at the anatomy of Mateusz Bogusz's Goal of the Year candidate versus Minnesota. Welcome back to LAFC Weekly, presented by Carmax. It's time for Anatomy of a Goal. We go back to May 29th, 2024, and Matej Bogusz has been scoring goals at an amazing clip. He scores them inside the area, outside the area, from a free kick, helps off on the corner kicks, left foot, right foot. Back in this game against Minnesota United, helped by his goalkeeper Hugo Lloris and his teammates, he was able to score a banger from long range. And by the way, this was the end of May. Matej Bogusz was the player of the month in June for Major League Soccer. It is Anatomy of a Goal. It is presented by Freeway Insurance.
Descarga Bogusz de lejos. ¡Fuego! ¡Mamita querida! ¡Qué golazo! ¡Bang, bang!
¡Qué golazo! Magnifique. Magnifique. I was a little bit behind and I was saying to myself, I should go or no, because it was, I think, last 10 minutes of the game. So we were winning 1-0, so we were defending more. I said, okay, I go. Then I received the ball and I was in the amazing spot. Bam.
That moment, I can see the space. I put the ball in the space, kick it, get the ball, manage the 1 against 3, and then good movement from the knee. A little bit of luck because there is the rebounds towards Matej, and then it's just magic from Matej.
Matej Bogusz with an absolute scorcher!
You know, Hugo is not just about this goal, but we can see during this season, when Hugo started playing, his pass is amazing.
I took the risk because I could feel at that moment that I needed to accelerate the game, and that's also the responsibility of the keeper to manage the tempo. And at that moment, I could feel the space, and I have a really good connection with Kike, you know.
C'est très bien d'avoir un gardien qui sait lire le jeu et qui envoie des bonnes sacoches devant.
Kike nos da la profundidad siempre que necesitamos y aparte se hace fuerte, ¿no? Aunque el balón no sea perfecto, él sabe cómo acomodarse para que el defensa no pueda llegar a él. Y bueno, hace un gesto técnico pues espectacular, de tacón para Denis.
Je me suis dit mince, voilà, j'ai perdu après un bon geste de Kike, mais bon après ça retombe dans les pieds de Mati, donc c'est une bonne perte de ballon, on va dire, puisque Mati termine de bonne manière.
Down for him as well. Bogusz! Bogusz with an absolute scorcher!
I can say this was my best goal, you know, in my career. I like this the most because I shoot a little bit different than usual. This was more on the front feet than on the side. So
2-0! St. Clair with no chance!
Should you get an assist for that goal?
Yes. He's my teammate, so yes. I will give him the assist.
his intention was to pass the ball. Yeah, I will give him the assist for sure.
Now that is the way to seal a victory!
I can't believe he didn't get the goal of the week.
Coming up on LAFC Weekly, presented by Carmax, we relive the year Carlos Vela became MLS's new goal-scoring king. LAFC Weekly is presented by Carmax, official used car retailer of LAFC, by BMO, official bank of LAFC, and by Auto Collision Group, official auto collision center of LAFC. Welcome back to LAFC Weekly, presented by Carmax. 2019, the second year of LAFC's existence, and to say it was a remarkable year would be a massive understatement. Through 33 games, they were on track to rewrite the MLS history books. By the way, several of those records still stand. They were also on track for one individual breakthrough, which was kind of a team record, the single-season goal-scoring record. Heading into the final game against the Rapids, Carlos Vela had it tied with 31 goals. That final game, not only did he break the record, he smashed it. It is this week's Classic Club moment, presented by Remitly.
It's the final game of what has been a tremendous regular season here at the bank. LAFC still with plenty to play for here at home in the final game of the regular season in 2019 as they take on Colorado Rapids. The Black and Gold can set the record for the most points by a team in a season in MLS, and Carlos Vela can grab the record for most goals in a season by himself if he scores here today.
And it's all about the mentality. This group has it. They know they're going to come out and perform. It's a team that you know when they're on the field, they're going to play their best.
It's LAFC hosting Colorado Rapids next here at the bank.
As far as just being just such a threat, Carlos Vela, whole season, phenomenal.
Vela curls it! There it is! Carlitos! He sets the record and he does it in remarkable fashion! To Vela in the air! Bicycle kicking in from the 6! Absolute magic! Last bit for Vela! A hat trick! And there is the new record! 34 goals this season!
LAFC
LAFC for me. I mean, they've been the story of the season, and Carlos Vela setting the record in style. I mean, what a way to do it. The crazy part to me, thinking about it, is just, it looks so casual, just the way he went about it. It has been the best season I've ever seen, I think anybody, clearly at this point, and he's erased any doubt.
I am afraid. That's all the time we have for this week. We'll be back again next week. I am Max Bretos saying, let's go, black and gold.